Okay, want to know how bad it is? Like bad. Like we all know it's bad, but this is bad. Statistics are come out. For young people, getting married, buying homes. Buying homes, right? So that's you can be young and rent, but let's think about buying homes. Horrible, horrible statistical review. 1990. Let's go back to 1990. 30-year-old married couples. How many bought homes? They're 30, they're married. How many of that group bought homes in 1990? 43% of them. So 43% of them either bought that year or had already bought of 30-year-olds. That was the makeup of purchases in that age bracketing. So let's fast forward 35 years. 35 years seems like a long time. Some people weren't born, but still, it's 35. It is not 135 years. It's 35 years. 2025. 43% has gone to 12%. That is 30-year-olds buying a home, married couples buying a home, 12% in 2025. 43, 35 in 1990, 12%. Okay. So we got a problem here? I think we got a problem. All right. So I'm not just going to blame house prices entirely. Not totally. That's not fair. That's not even reasonable. People are getting married much later in life. People are forming families later in life. Okay. That's just a effect that's not entirely about house prices. It could be about a bunch of other social and cultural things. Okay. People are starting to believe in establishing their careers more. They're just not interested in having kids. They're not interested. So there's not much pressing need to get married. So there's a lot of different social and cultural factors that go into this odd change over 35 years. Because that's big. 43%, 12%. Big change. But does the price of houses have something to do with it? Abso-fucking-lutely it does. Okay, yes, it does. It does have something to do with it. Because the amount of down payment required is so big today in provinces like Ontario, British Columbia, sort of in Alberta too. Yeah, you've got to frame it that way. The prices in Alberta are not rock bottom. Prices in Quebec have come up. In general, it's much harder. We know this. We know about the 3 times income ratio. And by the way, it was higher in 1990. It was about 4.2 in average family income to the price of a house back in 1990. But we know that historically it's been more like 2.5 or 3 times annual income is what the ideal house price should be. We know we're at like 8s, 9s, 10s, 11s, like we were in like 12s in Vancouver at certain points. We were at 12s in Toronto at certain points of time, less now. But we know 12 times income, like how are you going to do it? Like it's 12 times family income is nuts. But this statistic, this incredible removal of young people from homeownership, this drastic change, is big. So is it partially to do with the house prices? Of course it is. Of course it is. Yes, it's not entire. I agree. It's not exclusively that, but it's a meaningful part of it, that the prices are just too high, the down payment's too hard to achieve, the mortgage payments are not manageable because the house price is so high, that without parental help, substantial help, both maybe on the down payment side and maybe even on the co-signing side, it is such a difficult thing to get done that it pushes people right out of the category. And that naturally reduces family formation. Now, here's the real problem. Government, all levels of government, whether it be provincial or federal worst, all municipal, every single level of government in Canada has basically abandoned the idea of home ownership being a priority. Yeah, I want to be really, really clear. There's a big difference between providing housing to people and encouraging home ownership. That's a hugely different subjects. They're totally different things. And definitely in the last 10 and 15 years, but particularly the last 10, and certainly right now with all current levels of government, it's not about home ownership. It's about the words affordable. We need affordable housing. I got to tell you something about the word affordable. You substitute rental for affordable. That's what it really means. Don't be fooled. Don't believe the bullshit. Affordable, which you hear blah 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 from everybody, whether it's Carney or Ford or EB or whoever the hell it is. Affordable means rentals, sometimes subsidized rentals. You don't hear the words home ownership out of any of these politicians anymore. That's disappeared. And that's because it's too hard and it's easier just not to talk about it, because talking about it will get you into trouble. So don't talk about it. That's where we're at. So I'm going to say yes to rentals. Like I talked about getting rents down for years. I have many videos on it. I've talked about how I believe the CMHC program to encourage rentals was a big success. I'm not opposed to rentals. What I am opposed to is abandoning the home ownership concept, like just out the window. Like, hey, you'll own nothing and be happy. Okay, that's what I want to criticize, to point out, and to say no. That's a bad idea. If just literally 35 years ago, 43% of 30-year-olds married, own a home, and now we're down to 12, something's wrong here. And the wrongness is the emphasis on rental over home ownership, the ignoring the concept of getting prices down. And when developers start screaming about, hey, we're in trouble here, we're not building anything, we need to get busy again, when those the only answers the developers have are crazy stuff like Airbnb, bring back foreign buyers, yeah, we got to keep building towers, we're not going to build any low-rise homes. That's where the emphasis needs to be. Home ownership for young people, that's home ownership, that's lower prices and that work for young people. If we don't, we're screwed.